Hello travelers and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to go over the big four-ish that are the most important things in No Man's Sky. Your exosuit, your multi-tool, and your spaceship. And the inventory is entailed. And I'm going to go over some other basic fundamentals. So right now, what you're seeing is my character inside a space station. And as you see, random spaceships will land here. And right now, this is my current existing spaceship. So, I'm going to go over a couple things. First, we're going to start with the exosuit. This is my character. My character is wearing an exosuit. The exosuit is the default inventory for every character that you play. So I'm going to go into my inventory using the tab button. Here is my exosuit. Now, as you notice, I have tons of things in here. I'm going to go over the most important things first. First one is your jetpack. Your jetpack is your rocket pack that allows you to travel distances across a planet. This is upgradable so that it lasts longer and goes a further distance via technologies. Now, you'll have different things in here in terms of technologies. You'll have your rocket boots, your shield system. Your shield system does a couple of different things. It shields you from the environment, and then it shields you from different types of environments. There's toxic, radioactive, acidic, and cold. Each one of those carries different upgrades. The upgrades themselves have classes: C, B, A, and S. S being the top tier, C being the lowest ranking. And they have their own stats. So as you see here, I have a B-rated back jetpack upgrade that has a 20% tank increase, a sprint distance, which is your running, of 10%, a recharge rate, how long it takes for that to refill, and a sprint recovery time, your run recovery time. And those have different percentages. And they change the higher tier you go up. There's also different types of upgrades that aren't your base ones, which are called X upgrades and forbidden upgrades, which we'll go over in a minute. So now you're wondering, well, shouldn't I just be rushing to get the S ones? The S ones are expensive and harder to find. And you'll want to play with them because, as you see here, I have the upgrades lined up under the types that they are. So under my shields, I have all my shields connected. Under my booster pack, I have all my booster packs connected. There's a reason for that. You get what's called an adjacency bonus, which means if you link one or more up to a maximum of 4 per inventory together, you get a stat bonus, which varies percentage-wise based on the cumulative stat of the 4 combined and the base one. So you're going to get a little extra, and that applies per inventory. So if I max out my 4 plus 1 here, and I go to my technology, I can do 4 more and get another stat bonus. Now it sounds exploitative, but trust me, you'll want it in the end. In the exosuit, you have a cargo inventory. The cargo inventory allows you to double the storage of a resource. So you see here under my activated indium, I have 7,200. Your original slots go up to 999. So imagine doubling that. This is important because you're going to find some resources you want to have on hand all the time and are required for very specific things like base building. So now we're going to introduce you to starships. Starships come in a number of different varieties, and they have classes: A, B, C, and S. S being the top tier, C being the bottom. Each one has a different type. You have shuttles, explorers, and fighters. Fighters will be better at combat. Explorers will be better for hyperdrive range, and that's one thing I'll go over in a second. Shuttles are better for distances Shuttles are better for distances, explorers have a better scanner and a better hyperdrive, and fighters are for combat. So I'm going to go into my ship for a second, and I'm going to show you a couple key important things about ships. So under your starship in general, you're going to start off with a launcher. This is the thrust that gets you off the ground and into the air, and allows you to travel at a basic rate. Then you have your pulse engine. Your pulse engine is like your impulse drive. This gets fueled with a separate resource called tritium from asteroids, or it can be fueled with ammonia, which is a little harder to find and less common. Now, for your ship, you also have a shield, which again has its own system of upgrades. You have a base weapon called a photon cannon, and you have your hyperdrive. For Star Trek fans, that's your warp core. This comes with tiered upgrades that allows you to travel longer distances and allows you to visit different star systems. Now there's two other key things and a third newly introduced thing that you'll want to get in games at fairly early times. So the first one is the conflict scanner. A conflict scanner will allow you to judge the combat rating of a system, how much conflict there is in a system, and will also allow you to know the current controlling faction of that system. The economy scanner is important to know what type of system is it. Is it a manufacturing system? Is it a scientific system? Is it a resource system? This will be important in knowing what commodities will sell better in those systems. And you'll find there's different types of commodities, ores, manufactured things, different things, trade commodities that sell better in different systems. Now, ships also have their own technology slot. So if you don't want to dump your technology strings, and they also have their adjacency bonuses in your main inventory, you can put them in your technology. So you'll see I have my warp drive here, but I have my warp upgrades here. And you also have, again, a cargo. So this comes very important, especially for haulers. Haulers have very large inventories, and they have their own cargo tab, which means you can get a key resource that you really want to have a lot of and keep it in the cargo slot in a larger volume. So again, I'm going to hop out here, and you'll see if you're at a space station and you see a ship with a pilot, you can interact with them. Once you go through their text menus, you have a number of different options. You have an offer to trade, make an offer on this creature's starship, or recruit the life form to a squadron. So I'm going to go over each of these options. So we're going to hit offer to trade. Each of these has a trade terminal built into them based on commodities in the star system. And you can also sell them resources that you currently have sitting in your inventories. So now we're going to go to option 2, make an offer on the life form's ship. You have the option to buy any ship in-game with a currency called units. That's the one up here on the top left-hand side with the U and the lines through it. So now there's a couple important things that you'll need to notice. First of all, the class of the ship, up here on the right-hand side. If you're curious, this ship, with it's unupgraded for the most part, will show base stats of damage, shield, hyperdrive, and maneuverability. So now you have the option to decline or negotiate the price. So if you go into negotiate the price, you have two important things to notice. You can move all of your inventory minus your installed tech to the new inventory. This is important because if you sell without doing this, all of the inventory on your ship goes away. Very important. Technology does not transfer. So what I recommend you do is you disassemble these tech for resources Move those resources to your inventory and then recraft them on your new ship. Now there's it's something important to explain here. If you haven't learned these tech, you won't be able to recraft them. So if you bought a ship with an installed technology that you did not learn, and you disassemble it, you're not going to be able to relearn them. And each ship has procedural generated tech in them. So you may get something that you haven't had in the past. That's important. Then you're going to notice two options down here. You have buy and exchange. The game allows you to own up to 9 ships total. The ship that you're currently piloting is your active ship. If you go and you buy outright, you give away your existing ship and buy the new one. I want to explain that to you again. You get rid of your existing ship and replace it with your new one if you buy the ship outright. If you exchange... Oh wait, I'm sorry. I got that backwards. My apologies. If you buy the ship outright, it is added to your pool of 9 ships. Once again, I'm sorry. If you buy the ship outright, it is added to your pool of ships. If you exchange, you get a exchange value based on the total cost of the new ship and the cost of your existing ship. If you exchange, you replace your existing ship with the new ship. It is not added to your pool of 9 ships in total. Once again, if you exchange, you will not keep your old ship. It will be replaced with the new ship. So then you have your third option in the menu, which is recruit to squadron. Squadrons are something new in No Man's Sky. They allow you to recruit, I think it's a total of 6 ships, to fly with you in space and defend you. As you've noticed, this ship has a rating. The pilot also has a rating. So you have C, B, A, and S on the pilots. So they'll be better at defending you. They'll be better at combat or defense, have different weapon usage and rankings. I'll show you where to recruit to set up squadrons in a minute. Alright, so then we're going to go to the other key important thing, your multi-tool. Your multi-tool is your harvesting and defense weapon. It has its own inventory. It has its own inventory for upgrades only. You do not store resources. Your multi-tool has a ranking. Again, C, B, A, and S, with a rare chance at an exotic or royal one. They have a damage stat and a scanner stat. Your scanner and your laser have upgrades that also, again, have an adjacency bonus and stack. You also have different types of weapons for your gun. So your gun can do a couple different things. It can defend you, and it can terraform. So you'll see here, I have a terrain manipulator. This allows you to dig up ground and replace ground back down. This is important because there are very specific resources that require the terrain tool. Base metals like copper, indium, emerald, and cadmium require this tool. There's also something called buried bones and buried cargo, which sell for high amounts of units that you need the terrain manipulator to dig up. Alright, so now that we're at the space station, we're going to show you both sides of the space station. Space stations are key to interact with core parts of the universe. So, facing the front, we're going to go to the right-hand side first. Now I'm going to look down for a second. This is the landing pad. You can land here, your friends can land here, and NP ships will come in at random intervals. Using your scanner, you can scan the ships that are here and get information about their class, how many slots of inventory they have, making it easier for you to pick what ship you may want to buy. So here we are, we're on the right-hand side of the station. So we're going to go over a number of terminals and things that are over here. So over here is the ship outfitter. This is important because this is a very unique opportunity to earn upgrades, units, and nanites quickly. So right now, your active ship is the one that's going to show in here. Very important. This will tell you exactly where to find upgrades for your ship, upgrade starship, or salvage your ship. So now this is going to be very important because you can do different things here. So I'm going to go into upgrade starship. And you have a couple of different options. You can apply an augmentation. Through playing the game and getting loot, you have the ability to get storage augments for your ship, allowing you to expand the cargo, technology, and base inventory in your ship. This is where you would apply those augments. Now, you also have the option to purchase storage outright for the for the currency of units. This scales per purchase. So the first one is 2 million units, the next one is 4, etc., etc., etc. You can also come here and upgrade the class of your starship. So if you find a favorite starship and you like the model and the paint job on it, because all that is procedural, and you want to upgrade it to a different class, let's say you find it and it's only a C class, and you want to upgrade it eventually up to an S class, which is the maximum you can upgrade your ship here, you can purchase it for another commodity called nanites. Now, this also tiers in expense, going up to, I believe it's 50,000 units per class. I don't remember exactly, it tiers. So then we're going to go back into this menu one more time. And I'm going to show you something that you can't access right now, because this ship is not salvageable. This is a unique ship that was a special reward. But any ship that you possess will be your active ship. You can salvage that entire ship. So what that does is it breaks down and sells off the entire ship into components. So what you'll get is a nanite value for the ship, a unit value for the ship, plus a whole mess of components and broken down upgrades, which you can then go sell the components for units and the broken down upgrades for nanites. Very important. So now we're going to come over to the second terminal. This is your character customization terminal. Now, my bad, I keep forgetting. So here, oh my god, stop using the right mouse button. So here, you can use, I keep doing this and I apologize. So here you can change a number of different things. Your race, your body shape, head, torso, armor, gloves, all of the components to your character. And you can change the species. Now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here with a number of different customizations by default. You can get other customizations in a different area that I will show you later. These are colorable, and there's different ones. You can change your height, your body shape. You can color your armor, your character, your different parts. There's different types of backpacks, jetpack trails. So much customization that they have allowed you to have. So again, we're on the right-hand side of the station if you're facing the front of the system. Over here, you have your first option, which is your technology merchant, Nix. He gives you exosuit technology. So what you see right here is your exosuit upgrade. Every space station gets you the ability to get 1 free cargo slot upgrade on your backpack. Also, while you're here, If you have any earned cargo backpack upgrades through exploration, completing quests, or getting them in loot, you can also upgrade using those here. Now we're going to go into what this guy offers. So there is a tech merchant for your backpack, your starship, your exocraft, and your gun. So we're going to go into purchase modules. So what you'll see here is a list of modules which vary in different classes, and they offer different things: life support, movement, shield, underwater protection, radiation protection, toxic protection, and their classes up to S. So that's your exosuit. So then we're going to go over here to your exocraft. Now, exocraft are vehicles that you can use on planets. There's 5 different ones. They offer different options and bonuses and things to do with them. They're fun to use for exploration. They're fun to use for harvesting. There is a race system that you can set up using bases to have races with them. They're just really cool. So, once again, we're going to go into his menu and we're going to purchase upgrades. These apply across all exocraft. So if you purchase these once, you can install them in any exocraft at any time. And you're offered different things: the harvesting and defense cannon, the engine, the laser, and the boost, which allow you to travel faster, increase your ability to mine stuff, or defend yourself. And again, there's classes of upgrades, starting at C and going to the maximum of S. Then we're going to go over to your starship upgrades. Now over here, you have a number of different options. Your starship has maneuverability, thrust, hyperdrive, and weapons. So here you'll see your different options: launch thruster, pulse engine, hyperdrive, starship shield, photon cannon module, phase beam module. Then you have there's different weapons for your ship that do different things in combat. They will knock out a NPC's engines, knock out an NPC's shields, and degrade their hull, which is something that came very recently with the Outlaws update. Again, these are all class rated, with C being the lowest and S being the top rated. All of these upgrades that I've been showing you are purchased with nanites, not units. It is a separate currency. Now, a key thing here, when I showed you scrapping ships, you can take any upgrade that you have not installed, and the ones that you get from the broken down ship, and sell them here for nanites. You can also do this with any rewarded upgrade that you get that you don't want to install. So through the course of you playing, you're going to get different rated upgrades that you may not want to use, that you have no use for. You can sell them here and earn nanites. Oops. So, now we're going to go over to the multi-tool vendor. Very important. You can get new multi-tools. You can own 3 multi-tools total. Every time you come to a space station, the vendor has a multi-tool optionable for purchase or exchange. So here, you'll have the tool, its class rating, and what's installed in it. You can go to compare, and it'll show you its comparison to yours, slots that it has, the installed technology it has. You cannot transfer tech from one to another. You would have to disassemble all your tech, get the resources, and rebuild any tech that you have in here that you don't have in the new tool. Now, very important, once again, if you buy it outright, it replaces your existing tool. If you exchange, if you buy, it will add it to your existing tools, up to a total of 3. If you exchange, it will replace your multi-tool. Very important. Now over here on the right hand side, you have your multi-tool upgrade terminal. So let's say you find your favorite multi-tool, you like its visual appearance, the color of the laser that comes out of it, but you want to upgrade it. So multi-tool expansion slots. You can earn these in-game through different quests, missions, dungeons, and you install them here. You also have the option of purchasing new slots for units. You can also upgrade the class of the gun using nanites. Once again, you don't have to do this. You could just buy a better gun or exchange a better gun, but you can actually have 3 tools and have them specialized for terrain manipulation, defense, and scanning, giving you a whole plethora of options. And the visual appearance is different on every tool. So you might find visually a tool that you like more than another, and you want to maximize that tool. Okay, so this is the right-hand side of the space station. You'll notice each one of these has a procedurally different looking layout and different things. So you'll have chairs. Some of these you can sit in, some of them you can't. You'll notice that there will be NPCs walking around that you can interact with. So on this side of the station, which is the right-hand side, there's a room that you can go into. Now, there's a couple of things that you can do on a space station that are interesting. Not only can you interact with these guys, they may offer you a multi-tool, they may offer you language to learn, they may offer you a mission, or you can recruit them. Now, why would you want to recruit them? There is a base questing path that requires you to hire specific employees for science, farming, and weapon upgrading. This is where you would find them and hire them. There's also unique rooms called Atlas rooms that require an Atlas pass to enter, and they have resources. They're nothing super spectacular, you're not going to find anything unique in them, but they're a cool little addition to the game. So this was the right-hand side of the station. One more cool thing, every space station has discoverable navigation data. Now this one doesn't highlight because it's empty. Navigation data is going to be important, and I'll show you why on the other side of the station. Now one more thing on this side of the station that you want to know about is the scrap dealer. This was something that was added a couple updates back. The scrap dealer has his own unique currency and is tied to a form of gameplay dungeons called derelict freighters. Derelict freighters are freighters in space that are procedural dungeons that offer unique loot, procedural loot, unique building blueprints, and a currency that you can exchange here. So this is the scrap dealer. So we're going to interact with him. Now you're going to see a couple of different things here. This top one here is acquire coordinates. To play a procedurally generated derelict freighter, you have to have a coordinate finder. You have three options to get these. You get them randomly when you're breaking down asteroids. You can get one free every week at the Nexus, which I'll show you in a bit, or you can purchase them here. These tier in cost, 5, 10, 15, 20, each one that you buy. What they do is it's a small device that ends up in your inventory. You go out into space, you utilize it, and you pulse drive, and you'll find the derelict freighter. So then you have the option of, what are they selling? So that menu usually doesn't result in anything. So then you go into purchase old scrap. So Procedural dungeons offer a unique form of currency called scrap metal. Scrap metal, you come to this vendor to purchase unique things. So you have suspicious packet goods, which you purchase this, it ends up in your inventory, you open it, and you have the chance of a randomly generated resource. Technology is a technology upgrade, and weaponry is a weapon upgrade. Again, this is all RNG. The upgrades have different randomized stats that can be absolute garbage or even better than S-Class. It's kind of like loot boxes, but not loot boxes because you're not using real money. There's also other things in here. A repair kit will repair anything in any inventory. And then you have buildables. And one unique race customization that you can apply to your character in the character customizer. So now we're going to go to the left-hand side. So on the left-hand side, you'll notice a lot more NPCs. The key one to look out for is a traveler that has a glow around them. Now I'm going to show you something very interesting. One of the interesting travel methods in No Man's Sky are portals. Portals on planets function like stargates with a 16 glyph system, a dialable address that you can use to explore out into the universe. Now to learn glyphs, you have two options. You can follow the base quest storyline that will trickle you these over a long period of time. Or you can interact with a glowing traveler on a space station. And when you interact with them, they give you the option to find their grave. Every grave that you find gets you a single glyph. Now I'm going to show you something up here in my guide, catalog, portal glyphs. These are the 16 glyphs. Each time you learn one, they will show up here. Once you learn all 16, you'll be able to travel to any planet by a portal address. So if your friend that you're playing with, that's playing the game, finds a perfect planet they want you to come visit, you can go find a portal, dial in the unique address which they get from taking a photograph while they're on the planet. And this portal address will allow you to travel there without using a spaceship. So now we're on the right-hand side, the left-hand side of the space station. If you were facing the space station forward, when you get out of your ship, on the left-hand side, there is always an empty room on the freighter, on the space station, which grants you, a unique view, and it's just cool to explore. There's nothing that happens there. It's just empty. So what you'll first find on this side is the Galactic Trade Terminal. This is the economy in each star system. So what you'll see in here is the ability to buy and sell commodities and resources. So what you'll see here is there are unique things that you can buy here and how much they sell at this specific station for a higher percentage. You'll have base resources that you can buy here, and sometimes you'll find unique resources that you can't find at other stations. You also have the ability to sell from all of your inventories in this list. So now you're going to have 3 NPCs on this side of the station. The first one is a mission agent. Now, as you gain reputation with each guild and each race, you'll be offered different missions that you can do. These missions offer different rewards. nanites, resources, and things for your ship or your freighter. Now over here for the second guy is the Mercenaries Guild. I don't have any faction rep with this guy, so I can't get anything from him, but as you build your rep up, you'll have missions from him as well. And he will offer you things. Then you have your third NPC. This is your cartographer. So your cartographer is going to offer you a couple things. You can do an exchange for a specific chart. Now, if you do an exchange, what this requires you to have is navigation data. Navigation data can be found on planets, can be bought, or, and let me take a quick look, when you're on space stations, you're going to see interactable things, which, do we have one here? You're going to see unique things on the tables. This little orb here, I can interact with. This one gave me nanites. Some of them will give you discovery, navigation or discovery data. You go to this guy, the cartographer, and you can do an exchange for a specific chart. Now, this is important because these offer you different things. You have a settlement chart. Settlements are preordained NPC settlements that you can own and upgrade. Planetary charts offer you the ability to find an ancient artifact site. These are important because if you want to find a portal, what you have to find first is what's called a monolith. You'll need this map to find that. Planetary chart for an inhabited outpost. Inhabited outposts are NPC buildings on the ground that offer you different things. Emergency cartography. This will offer you a distress beacon that will lead you either to a crashed ship, which you can repair and own, or crashed freighters, which offer you unique cargo rewards. And then you have the planetary chart for a secure site for blueprints. Now, when the game first launched, there were 3 types of buildings on the ground. Communication stations, habitats, and factories that offer you unique crafting rewards for solving a simple riddle. Most of that content has been moved to the Nexus. So this is kind of redundant. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but it encourages you to do more planetary exploration. So then we're going to go in, and I'll show you the other option. You can purchase a random map. So a randomly generated map for nanites. Cheap in cost, simple to do, and again, it encourages you to go out and explore. Every station has a portal. Now this is important because every time you go to a star system and you visit the starbase ends up in your exploration list. So I'm going to interact with the portal, and you'll find a couple of different options. Your bases. If you've built a base and you travel far away from it, you can travel back to it at any space station using a portal. Then you have space stations. Every space station that you have visited will show up in this list. So let's say you went and you bought metal cogs at one station, and you know it sells good in an industrial star system. You'll find space station with the icon for industrial economies. Go to that space station and sell that commodity there because it will net you more money. This is what's called economy hopping or economy crashing, depending on what you do. you'll notice there are icons at the bottom right of every tab for a space station. That includes the race, the economy, and the conflict rating. Then you have other bases. Other bases allows you to travel to other players' bases at random anywhere in the galaxy. And you'll see the player name, whether they have named it, and you can go visit it. Some are in the existing system that you're in, and others can be thousands of light years away. So, that is your starships, your inventory, and your multi-tool. Now, I'm trying to remember, do I have exocraft? No. So I'm going to show you one more thing, which is important. Which is your freighter. So I'm out here in space, and as you see, this is a solar system. There are a number of planets. Any explored star system will have a space station. And here's one other vehicle type that you can get, a freighter. Now, freighters vary in size and class. So I'm going to go ahead and land on my freighter. Now, freighters function as a storage area for all the starships that you own, up to a maximum of 9. So every starship that you own will show up on a landing pad here. The empty pads NPCs can land on. And what I did in the space station with interacting, trading, and offering to buy them, I can do on my own freighter. So now what we're going to do is we're going to go up. And I'm going to show you some really awesome things about a freighter. So one of the cool things about a freighter is you can build a base on them. That's right. You can build a base on a freighter. So I'm going to use the Z key to go into my build menu. Now, freighters have their own unique pool of buildables. Rooms, corridors, stairwells. You can also build a portal on your freighter. You can build refiners on your freighter. You can build up to 9 storage rooms. And you can name these rooms. So your freighter has its own storage. Now if you build, there's storage units that you can build on bases. Those link with your freighter ones, and they're numbered. So if you build a storage unit 0 on a planet, it also links with your storage unit 0 on your freighter. And there's a technology that you can install on your freighter to teleport from planet to your freighter and back anytime, any resource that you have. You can build all sorts of things and decorations in here, lighting, etc. And I'm going to show you a couple other things that are really awesome about freighters. Freighters, again, have their own inventory, their own technology. Freighters also have a bridge. So since I own this freighter, I am the captain. Over here, there's a console in the center of your bridge where you can do a different number of things. So first you have upgrade control. Upgrade control allows you to do a couple different things. Additional storage. You get what's called cargo bulkheads. These can be looted or can be crafted at the end of a procedural derelict freighter dungeon. You go in here and you can install them, maxing out your inventories for both cargo and technology. Then you go to purchase upgrades. Now this is important. Just like your starship, your freighter has an upgradable warp drive. The higher tier upgrades you get, the further you can travel and the different type star systems you can travel to. So if they started a C rating and go to an A. These require a unique resource called salvage frigate modules. Now, I'm going to warn you, there's a lot of outdated information up there. I'm providing you the most recent updated information in terms of finding salvage frigate modules. These things used to be lootable at a high rate in NPC fleets out in space. So as you're in every star system, there are NPC fleets that warp in and out. They have loot cargo containers attached to them. Initially, the percentage was about 25% to find these on them. Recently, with updates, that pool has dropped down to about 1% of finding these only in NPC fleets. The best way to get these are to do frigate missions and to do the derelict freighters. Derelict freighters offer you, I think it's up to 15% chance of finding them in random loot containers. Frigate missions, offer you about a 65% rate of getting at least one per mission, and I'll show you what that is. So again, this side here is for your upgrades. The matter beam is very important if you want to be able to transfer material between your freighter and your character, and your freighter and your base. The warp cores are your upgrades for your warp drive. You can use your freighter to warp yourself and all of your ships to a new star system. Over here on the right hand side you have frigate upgrades. Every freighter comes with, by default, one frigate. Frigate are escort ships, and I'll show you in a second what I mean. So now as we go around the table, you have your navigator. Your navigator is where you send out your escort ships on missions. Now I currently don't have what's called a fleet command room crafted. What you need to do is craft that fleet command room. What this allows you to do is once that's created, you go to the bridge and you get a list of optional missions to send your frigates out on. Your frigates have classes and specializations: exploration, industrial, and military, C through S ranking. As you send them on more missions, they upgrade in rank, maxing out at S. Also, you get unique rewards, units, nanites, and resources. These missions are the best way to get the salvage frigate modules to upgrade your freighter. Now this sounds complicated, but these things, you send them out on missions, they take a set amount of time based on their difficulty, and they go even when you're not in game. So what I like to do is just before I log out, I take my frigates and I launch them on missions. And when I come back the next time I play, I interact with my fleet command room and get all of the rewards for sending them out. You have the option of these missions failing, and your frigates will need to be repaired. I'll show you that in a different video. You can have a maximum fleet size of, I believe, 25 escort frigate ships, which is awesome. These become very lucrative the more ships you send out. And I missed one thing for you guys back at the upgrade control. There's two things, I'm sorry. You can customize the appearance of your freighter and reset your freighter base. Very important. Your base build on a freighter is transferable to another freighter. So if you go and you built your base on a C-class freighter, and through exploration you find an S-class freighter that you want to buy, you can transfer your base to that. If you don't like your base, or you've messed up the layout, or you're not sure how high up you built, and you can reset your base at any time, wiping the base completely to its default layout. Now, very important with freighters, and I forgot to mention this early on. In the beginning, after 5 warp, 5 solar system jumps, or 5 hours of gameplay, you get a combat initiated to rescue a freighter mission. If you defeat all the pirates, you interact with the freighter captain, you can get your first freighter for free. Now, I want to make this clear. You do not have to accept that freighter if it's not the model you want and it's not the class you want. You can decline, and after another 5 jumps or 3 hours of gameplay, you will get another rescue a freighter battle to get a free freighter. You do not have to settle for the initial freighter. The first one is free. Now, here's something that you can do on freighters that you cannot do to your spaceship. You can customize the appearance. There are 3 levels of painting: your primary color, your secondary color, and your accents. They will show here. Oh, Jesus, I did it again. They will show here in the camera as you're painting. Each one of these unlocks for nanites. Each one costs 5,000 nanites. So over here, you have your fleet management. Here's 2 things you have to notice. You notice you manage your fleet and you manage your squadron. So when you go into manage fleet, this will show you what escort ships you have in your fleet. They will all be listed here by class, by type, and what their role is. So here I have a science vessel. It's a C rate, and it's best at exploration. And it has ratings for combat, exploration, mining, and unit turnover rate. So as these progress higher, you get better rewards for these. So then we have the freighter warp map. This is just like the galactic star map, which I'm going to show you right now. Okay, so this is the galactic map. Every point of light that you see on this map is a solar system you can go to. So as you see right here, there's a number of different icons. I have the scanner and the economy upgrades to my ship installed. So through that, you can see a number of different things. You can see the race that controls it. You can see its economy, its combat rating, whether there are settlements in the system, whether there's water in the system, which becomes very important for finding different types of resources. Knowing what race controls the system is important because each race specializes in something different. The Korvax are known for science, the Gek are known for farming, and the Viking are known for military. So depending on how upgraded the warp drive is on your freighter, you can travel to different stars. I'm going to pull out for a second. As I zoom out, this is the galaxy. Every point of light that you see right now is an explorable star system. Up on the upper left-hand side, you have the actual galaxy that I am in, and you have an icon showing where you are in the galaxy. So if you're looking at the upper left-hand side of the screen, you see a little yellow icon with a loop around it. That's where I currently am positioned, in an arm of the galaxy, way out on the left-hand side. The point of light that you see in the center is the center of the galaxy. So I'm going to go, and I'm going to use my controls to send you towards the center of the galaxy. The closer you get to the center of the galaxy, the longer the distance that you travel, you're more likely to run into players closer to the center than you are at the outskirts, because most people do a center jump. You will also be shown the name of the galaxy. This is important because while you can portal to the bases inside a galaxy, you cannot portal jump between galaxies. You can only travel one way to another galaxy by going to the center of the galaxy and flying through a wormhole. That's important. So you'll want to know what galaxy you're in. Now I'm going to tell everybody, at the end of the Outlaws expedition, we got the rare chance to go to a pirate galaxy. This is an additional galaxy in addition to the 255 that already exist in game. This one's unique. Right now you can't play that expedition, but at the end of the year they do a expedition replay. So if you want to go to a unique galaxy that very few people have been to, I recommend playing the Outlaws expedition to get to this galaxy. So we're going to go back to where I am. And again, you'll also notice a couple of other things. On the menu on the right hand side, you'll notice my current location, and you're going to notice there's a set of stars after the icon for the race that controls the system. That star rating is how prosperous it is economical. This is important if you want to find top tier ships, unique ships, and top tier freighters. This is the three star systems are the ones that you want to go to. You also want to go to Outlaw systems. Outlaw star systems will have a skull on the far right hand side. So this is not an Outlaw star system, but an Outlaw star system will have a skull on the right hand side. And Outlaw systems are cool because you get unique missions, unique customizations, and unique resources. You also get a very important technology for your ship called a cargo scan deflector, which when you use it, blocks system authorities from scanning your cargo for illegal contraband, negating pirate attacks, which is a really fun thing. Okay, so we're going to get out of this menu. And again, this is my freighter. So now, I don't remember if I have Exocraft learned. No. Okay, so I'm going to stop this video here. Those are the key forms of transportation and exploration that you have in No Man's Sky. I'm going to do a couple more videos that explain upgrades, the Nexus, and another set of craft called Exocraft. Thank you. Like and subscribe. If you love my content, leave comments and questions. I'm open to communication at all times. Thank you once again.